Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are required to first find some values in this table of values before we draw the graph and use the graph to solve some problems. So let's zoom in on part A where we are required to find the value of P. P happens when x is equals to -1, which means that given the following equation, and that's where we are going to substitute the value of y as P and the value of x as -1. Notice that Mr. Tan always, every time, when I substitute values, I will always remember to put a parenthesis or brackets. So this will give me a value of -27. So this is equals to -27. As for value Q, Q happens when x is equals to 4. And this will give me a value of -12. Now, with this set of values, then this is where I'm going to plot this graph. So I'm going to just have this table of values down there so that it's easier for me to plot it as I adjust it. Okay, now the first value, it happens when x is -1 and y is -27, so that will be here. Do take note that 26, 27, it will be here, all the way down there. When x is 0, y is -12, -11, -12 is here. X is 1, y is -3, -1, -2, -3 will be here. When x is 2, y is 0. When x is 3, y is -3. 4 and -12. 5 and -27, which is all the way down there. Now that I have plotted all the points, now it's for me to draw the graph. It is smooth curve. Alright. Continue to slowly plot this graph. And eventually you will get the turning point where you're going to make a turn. And turn back. And continue. And eventually you will reach somewhere here. And you should see the shape as such. Do remember to also write down the equation of the line. And we are done with part B. Part C, let's have a look. Part C happens where they want to find this point where the graph cuts the y-axis. So let me zoom in. The point where it cuts the y-axis happens to be here. So at this stage, I'm going to move this away and just highlight this part here. When it cuts the y-axis, this part. So I'm going to just shift this over for me to explain it in an easier manner. Okay, so the point where it cuts the y-axis happens here. So what is the coordinate? Meaning what is the x and y value? So at this point, the x actually is equals to 0 and the y, as you all know it, negative 12. So this is my x and this is my y. Coordinates of the maximum point. Okay. And so for this particular line, let me see. Oh, the turning point happens to be here. So I'm going to just zoom in to this particular point here. And just come over to this side. So that we can focus on this particular part of the turning point, which is here, the maximum point. And they want the coordinates. So in this case here, let's see. Of course, the x is 2. And the y is 0. Write down your observation of this point besides being the highest point of the graph. Do you observe that it also is at the x-intercept? And since it is at the x-axis, so it is also an x-intercept at the same time. All right, because it cuts the since it cuts the x-axis. Now, draw and label the line of symmetry on the graph. So I'm going to go back here. The line of symmetry also happens to be at the turning point, which is the maximum point, and it is a vertical straight line. After you draw, please label the graph, and the name of this graph, which is the equation, happens when x is equals to 2. So this is important. Must label. And with that, we have come to the end of this particular question. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.